Oh, fucking Trench. Okay, so these guys are giant. They're pretty huge. 21 Pilots. I'm sure you know who they are. They have a pretty monolithic fan base. Hashtag selling clip for life, baby. Musically, they are known for combining many different sounds together at once, including pop punk and reggae and pop and hip hop and drum and bass and all kinds of crazy shit. They've been labeled before as schizophrenic pop because they're just so cutting edge and crazy and incorporate so many different sounds and love. Ultimately though, their music, it often does kind of succumb to a pretty see-through, transparent pop formula. I think they're one of the more interesting bands, I guess, in the field they exist within, you know, just because of the genre blending and how bold it can get at points. I've never really been a fan though. Like, I think Vessel is a very annoying album. It does have some pretty catchy moments though, but Car Radio, no. Blurry Face is one of my least favorite albums of the decade though. That thing is fucking insufferable. I think it's a really obnoxious album. One of those albums as well that when you tell a 21 Pilots stan that you don't like it, then there's a good chance they'll respond with some shit like, "You just didn't get it. You didn't get the blurry face concept, bro. It's fucking too deep for you, fam." Okay, yeah, that does remind me. I should mention before I get like into the review, you do need an IQ of at least 9 trillion to fully understand. The intricate layered depths of Trench might be a little too much for you. I mean, there's a song called Levitate, and he like raps for the whole song. Like, he raps for the whole song. Tyler Joe, only he could pull that. Like, no one's done that before. Like, no one's imagine that. Imagine rapping for the whole. Bro, they're changing the game. I don't think you get. Okay, for real though, Trench is definitely the most entertaining album in the 21 Pilots catalog so far. It has the cleanest, most consistent production out of all their records. The genre blending is toned down quite a lot, which is good because it could come off a bit gimmicky in the past, in my opinion. But when it does occur on Trench, I think it feels a lot more natural, so that's definitely a plus. Tyler Joseph's vocals, they're still not great, in my opinion, but they have definitely stepped up on this thing, so that definitely counts for something. I used to find his rapping unbearable, but here, when it does pop up, it's rare, but when it does appear, it's not bad. It's not like amazing or anything, but it's cool. Like, Levitate is probably my favorite track on this album, mostly because of how great the beat is, honestly. Drum break on that thing is just fucking hypnotic. They're kind of howling sound effects pepper throughout the track, just give it a real cold-blooded demeanor that I appreciate quite a bit. I thought his singing on Bandito was quite good too. That was like a ballad type song. He was really going for it, and I think he pulled it off. A few songs had some really endearing, sweet, noteworthy messages to them as well, like on Smithereens or Legend or Neon Gravestone. So yeah, there are positive qualities to this thing for sure, but on an artistic level, on a creative level, this album isn't exciting at all. It's incredibly shallow. It's not deep. Let's not pretend this album's deep. The deepest this album gets, I guess, would be on the song My Blood, because like you could interpret the lyrics as if he's singing to his actual like blood, like, you know, stay with me, don't run, like running like blood. Like ultimately though, this album's shallow as fuck. The songs here, for the most part, they lack any identity really. Chlorine, Cut My Lip, The Hype, Leave the City, Pet Cheetah, Jumpsuit are all ridiculously bland. Like, fucking Jumpsuit. Okay, Jumpsuit, it seemed like an interesting single at the time because it was definitely one of the heaviest songs they've made, but this track's formula is so predictable it kind of hurts. That fucking overly dramatic, like, fucking, like, breakdown where the piano comes in, it's corny as hell. And the climax of the song is completely powerless. Neon Gravestones, which again, important message on that song revolving around suicide and mental health, but the song surrounding it, I don't really think is all that compelling. I do love that whole neon gravestone, like the gravestone is like beckoning you towards it, like you're being beckoned towards the idea of death. I like that lyrical idea, but the use of piano on this song, the kind of preachy angle he takes with the lyrics, I don't really feel like you could have taken a less creative way to approach this topic. It feels like a really generic attempt at pulling this off. Like, again, I got nothing but appreciation for what the song is trying to say, but it's just the way it goes about it is just not that exciting as a song. It's just a bit cliche in my opinion. And then we have Chlorine, which is a very awkward hook in my opinion, especially when contrasted with the verses. Whenever it comes in, it's just like an annoying wall that just feels a bit out of place. The whole chlorine metaphor is fucking lame too. The hook on The Hype though is even worse. The way he prolongs the notes with his voice is just a bit flat and corny to me. Nico and the Niners isn't too bad, nothing crazy here. I think it has a great groove, and again, a pretty cold-blooded tone, which I do kind of like. Even if the song doesn't really have that much in the way of flair or finesse, I still think it has there's a solid song at the core, one of the better ones overall in my opinion. The keys on the song Legend are a bit cheesy, but they do kind of make sense for what the song is going for. This track is a song dedicated to Tyler Joseph's grandfather. It's a pretty endearing and sweet song, a sweet moment on the album that's very, you know, heartfelt and poignant. I appreciate it for sure. Not a song I would really come back to, because again, the thing is like ukulele on this song, and like the keys, again, it's just a bit of a cliche way to go about a song like this. That doesn't really excite me much, but for what it is, I do appreciate it, as it does feel very genuine and emotive, so I definitely think it's a stronger moment on the album overall. Leave the City was a bit of a weak closer. It's one of those finishing tracks where everything becomes really overly important, and here's the ballad that finishes things off because, oh, it's the ending, and oh, this is a big thing. It's just executed again without any flair or character. It just feels predictable as hell. And then the Smithereens too, another really sweet song. I like this track. I like how he's saying, you know, I would get beat to smithereens to protect this relationship, just kind of showing his devotion for his partner, which again, very endearing, very sweet. His vocals were a little sketchy, but I guess they did kind of add to the emotiveness of the lyrics, I suppose, but they did kind of rub you the wrong way a little bit, just how they sounded. Overall though, yeah man, this is the wokest fucking album in the game. 32 Pilots really went off with this one, bro. Like, if you listen to Nico and the Niners, bro, he said, my jumpsuit is unsteady. Jumpsuit's the first track, bro. It's all connected. Like, if you listen to Neon Gravestones, right, when he says, treat a loss like a win. Where have you heard that before? Where have you heard that? J-Rock, win, yes. It's just all like, so deep, you just don't catch this. So like on Cut My Lip, if you listen real close, there are drums on that song. Bro, go back and listen to Rose Schiller by Venetian Snares. There's drums all over that album. It's a connection. I don't fucking know. Yeah, this is a 5 out of 10 in my opinion. It's the most tolerable album they have ever made for sure. But let's not start acting like, oh, 21 Pilots are coming through with a great album. Whoa, they're like actually like really good now. Oh my god. Like, yeah, okay, you can listen to it and not want to die. Whoa. Let's just not, you know, pretend this isn't still very shallow, very characterless, very forgettable, not all that exciting really. It's cool. It's good. The songs here are the strongest they've made yet. But it's nothing I'm going to come back to. So those are my thoughts on Trench by 21 Pilots. And yeah, that's everything. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.